Growing up, my cousin Daniel was the golden child. If there was one cookie left, it was his. If there was one spot left on a family trip, it was his. I was always told to be understanding, to share, and to put him first. For a long time, I didn't mind. I thought that's just how families worked. My grandparents adored him, and after they passed away, I found out just how deep that favoritism went. I was 21 when the will was read. My grandparents had left me a substantial inheritance enough for college, to start a business, or buy a house. It was my future, secured. But when I went to my parents to discuss it, their faces were grim. They sat me down and explained that they had made a family decision. They had given my entire inheritance to Daniel. His parents were struggling and he apparently had a brighter future that needed funding. They said it was for the good of the family and that my sacrifice would benefit everyone. I just stared at them, completely stunned. My future, my security was handed over without my consent. They called it family. I called it betrayal. That night, I packed a single bag. With a few $100s and a heart full of cold resolve, I walked out of that house and didn't look back. The first few years were brutal. I worked 3 jobs, slept on couches, and ate so many instant noodles I can't even stand the sight of them now. I was completely alone. Many nights, I wanted to give up, to crawl back and accept my fate. But then I'd remember their faces, so calm as they told me my future was a worthy sacrifice for someone else's, and that memory would force me to get up and work even harder. I put myself through night school and earned a degree in finance. I started a small consulting firm from a tiny windowless office. Slowly, painstakingly, I built a life for myself. I wasn't just surviving anymore, I was thriving. Success feels different when it's earned with your own sweat and tears. It was solid, real, and completely mine. No one could ever take it from me. Years went by. My firm grew. I bought a house, I traveled, and I found a peace I never knew was possible. I never spoke to my family. They tried to reach out a few times, but I blocked their numbers and returned their letters unopened. To me, they had ceased to exist the day they chose Daniel over me. Then, about a decade after I left, I got an email from an unknown address. It was my aunt, Daniel's mother. She wrote that my father was sick and the medical bills were piling up. And Daniel, the golden child, had made a series of bad investments with my inheritance. The money was all gone. They had lost their house, and he was now working a minimum wage job. They were in ruin, and they needed my help. I read the email, feeling a strange emptiness. There was no triumph, no satisfaction. Just a quiet confirmation of what I already knew. I deleted the email and went back to work. A few weeks later, they showed up at my office. My parents, my aunt and uncle, and Daniel. They all looked older, worn down by life. My mother was the first to speak, her voice trembling. "We were wrong," she said. "We're so sorry." My father, looking frail, added, "We did what we thought was right at the time." Daniel couldn't even meet my eyes and just mumbled something about making mistakes. They spoke of hardship, of regret, of wanting their family back together. Then my mother looked at me, her eyes pleading. "Family forgives," she said, as if it were a universal law that could erase everything. I let the silence hang in the air. I looked at each of them, at the faces of the people who had sacrificed me so easily. I thought of the lonely nights, the hunger, the desperation. I thought of the strength I had to build from the ashes of the life they burned down. I looked right into my mother's eyes and said, "But I never forgot." There was nothing else to say. I had my assistant show them out. I watched them leave, a small, defeated group, and felt nothing but a profound sense of closure. My past was finally just that, the past. I had built my own life, my own security, my own peace. I didn't need their forgiveness, and they had no right to mine. They had made their choice all those years ago. And I had made mine. Thanks for listening. If you've ever had to fight to build your own future, you're not alone. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories.